Hi, this is a short video about this Harmony guitar, which a client's brought in for me for a setup and a bit of a clean up, and it needs a bit of love and care and attention. I've already started doing a couple of things, so I used some of the Neverdol on the pickup covers. I've cleaned them up, and I've taken the bridge apart, and that's sitting in some white wine vinegar just to clean it out, and get an old toothbrush and get it to work in there, get it all nice and clean. Then we're going to clean up the fretboard and do some work on the body. It's got a lovely nice bevel cut in the top of it. I do like the look of that. I think this is possibly a Korean built Harmony, but I'm not entirely sure. I'll try and find out and let you know what it is, but it looks great. It just needs a bit of love and care, and that's what we're going to give it. So I've got my tools. So what I'm going to use to clean this is Dunlop 01 fingerball cleaner, and cleaner and prep it's called. I find this is generally the best thing to use to get crud off fretboards. It's actually quite good on poly finishes as well, on the body. It will remove any sort of organic matter really efficiently. It's great stuff. The other thing I'm going to use is a bit of a credit card. Well, it's blank credit card thing, and I'm just going to use this because it's not sharp, but it'll just take most of the stuff off before I get into using the Dunlop cleaner. So it'll just remove most of the crap off of it, and then it'll make it a lot easier. I'll get a bit further along with the cleaner. So I'm just going to carry on doing this. Okay, so I've given this one going over now, and got most of the dirt off. There's still, actually I'm not entirely sure, that is dirt left there. I think it probably is, but got most of it off. I'm just going to go over it again because I'm not entirely happy with how clean that is yet. I want to get all the dirt out that's settled in around the frets and just get it nice and clean. So bear with me. Okay, so I finished the cleaning of the fretboard. It's all nice and clean. Used the toothbrush for that largely, so forget about the credit card. This did a much better job. So you learn something new every day. So the next job we've got to do is to just give these frets a little bit of an extra polish. They look a lot better than they did after that cleaning. Obviously that's polished them a little bit, but if you look closely at the frets, there are little marks on there, and I want to get rid of all of those. So what I'm going to use is the Crimson Guitars set of abrasive fret rubbers, but I'm going to start off with something a little bit more abrasive than that. The Crimson Guitars fret rubbers start off at 400 grit. That's what they say they are. I think they're actually a little bit finer than that, to be honest. But I like to start off with a Gary Flex abrasive rubber, which is 320, and that gets all the little marks that the strings have left in the frets out, and it just gives you a much better finish. You end up with a much better finish. So this is a lot more crumbly, and I mean, I've only had this one a few weeks, and it's about half the size it was when I bought it, but it's just so much better. So I get the fret protector, a couple of bits of masking tape, and I'll go over the fret. I'm showing you this on another video as well, but just to reiterate it, Gary Flex Crimson Guitars, coarse rubber, the medium rubber, the fine rubber, and the extra fine rubber. And so when we get to string this guitar up, it's going to feel great to play, because we're also polishing the fret end as well, but that's going to feel nice and smooth. So you can see there's a big difference there between those frets and the ones next to it, and I'm just going to do the whole lot now, so again, bear with me. Right, so that's all done. That's all polished. One thing I did notice when I was going up this fretboard doing this 16th fret, just at the end, it looks like it's just taken a little bit of a knock at some point. So what I'm going to do is just get the fret rocker and check that one, because it may be that it's just jumped up a little bit. Actually, it seems to be okay. So just at the end there's a little bit of a dip, and it's really unclear actually at the moment to me whether that's going to cause an issue, because it's a hell of a dip there and there's nothing. So it may be that the high E string is just going to fret out on this fret, but we'll see when it's stringed up. We'll see what it's like, and may have to replace that fret, but we'll come back to that. So that's all done. So let's have a look at it. It looks really clean. Frets have all been polished, and we are now ready to condition the fretboard. So to condition the fretboard, what I use is just walnut oil. Walnut oil just from a grocery shop, and I find that's the best thing, because it contains no petroleum derivatives. There's nothing in there that's actually going to have an adverse effect on the fretboard. It's all natural. The thing about it is it takes a little bit longer to soak in, so when you put it on, you have to leave it to soak in for a little while and then just wipe the residue off after about 10 minutes. But it will soak in, and it will make the grain pop out. Not like the grain really, the texture of the wood pop out. Not even the texture, what's the right word? Yeah, well, it makes it pop out. So let's get some of that on there. So again, we use just a bit of kitchen roll Nothing fancy or flashy about this. Just some decent stuff that's not going to break up too easily. I get some of this walnut oil from Asda. I'll just wipe it into the fretboard. And we'll see in a minute. But this really brings the wood to life. It's fantastic. Clears out a little bit more dirt that I wasn't able to get with the other stuff as well, so it's all good. The great thing about this walnut oil is not only is it completely natural, there's nothing in it but walnut oil. It's really cheap. It's cost about 90 pence, and it's lasted me for about 5 years. So forget about your expensive bottles of lemon oil and all that rubbish. This is what you want to use to feed your fretboards. So, okay, so we've had the walnut oil applied, and we've dried off the residue, and I think you'll agree that looks a hell of a lot better than it did when it came into the workshop. Frets are polished, the dirt's off, the fretboard's been conditioned, and that is going to be a much nicer guitar to play. As Ben Crow says, this is the user interface, the neck, and if it's not right, it doesn't matter how much intonation you do, how much work on the nut, the string action, height, anything else. If this doesn't feel good, you're not going to have a good playing experience. So I always spend probably as much time on doing this stuff as I do on the rest of the setup. And not everybody will do this kind of detail, but we always do this because it's so important. So on to the next job. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is clean the body of the guitar. I want to get all the accumulated dirt off. As I said earlier, I've already cleaned the pickup covers. I'm going to clean up around there, everything under the bridge, just get everything clean. And I'm going to use a couple of different things. I'm going to use some of the 01 fretboard cleaner and prep again, because as I said earlier, that's great for getting any organic dirt off. So I'll use that. When I've done that, I'm going to use, not that one, I'm going to use Meguiar's Interior Detailer Cleaner. It's a car product, but essentially, unless you've got a nitro cellulose finish, every guitar is painted in something that's very similar, if not exactly the same as car paint. So this is perfect for getting a shine. It works really well. It's not very expensive either. And then when I'm finished with that, I'm going to just use a little bit of the Meguiar's Ultimate Polish again. You know, the same thing. It's absolutely fantastic. It'll bring up a really good shine, and you'll really see the difference in this guitar when it's finished from where it is at the moment. So let's get on with this. That's all done now. Let's have a bit of a closer look. I think you can quite clearly see the difference there. Also did the headstock while we're off camera. It's looking a lot better. So we're getting there. It's now looking like a guitar you'd actually want to play, at least in terms of its cleanliness. Okay.